Hey everyone of YouTube world, they call me Fucker Supreme, and today I want to make a little video with my boy Hikari Tatsu. He's my duo in Valorant, and I have a bunch of Valorant content that I want to release to you guys. But before that, there's something that has been irking me for the past couple of weeks, ever since Abyss got released. Anyone who plays this game for a significant amount of time has probably played all the maps, right? That's nothing new. You know, we got Haven, we got Ascent, we got Icebox, which we're on right now, and they just added Abyss. But a lot of the things that people talk about with these maps I feel like are kind of strange, because the biggest thing that people complain about is, like, say a map like Breeze. And Breeze is totally fair as a map to complain about, completely fair. It's this big-ass, long corridor-styled map with barely any cover, and it's really hard to rotate off of if you're the defender side. And the reason why we're on Icebox now is to prove that, well, this design philosophy that they've had for these newer maps has kind of always been in the game since this fucking map. Personally, I absolutely despise Icebox as a map design. I don't mind playing it in comp. I absolutely hate fighting it in deathmatch. And honestly, most of these maps were not clearly designed for deathmatch, but that's besides the point. The point is, even though this map has gotten changed a bit, and I think these changes have made the map slightly better, I just hate this style of the map. The main problem that I have is shit like this. I really don't like the idea of being able to just walk down a corridor, see all the way to the end of the other side of the sight line with barely any instances of cover. It's really hard to engage people in this sort of space. Sure, there is cover. You have these boxes here. You have yellow. Obviously, you could walk back to, like, you know, back of green and such. But it's still pretty bad, and especially back when this map used to be in its original state, back when you could fucking go into A spawn and kill someone all the way from mid. I mean, it's not really as reliable now. I think you have to stand level one over here. Yeah, so you still kind of can. But back before, it was much worse, where you could pretty much see spawn to spawn, and it was a huge fucking problem, which they immediately changed. And good riddance, because that was dumb as hell. Do you have anything to say, Hikari Tatsu? I know we talked about ad nauseum about all the fucking dumbass maps in this game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, regarding this map, there's too many angles that it's really hard to fight. It's super hard to decide where, like, an enemy's going to be, and especially when you're up against, like, somebody like a Chamber or a Jet, or sometimes it was really bad at Yoru. Like, you got so many off angles to play against and so much shit that you have to go for. It's just, this map is not it. Yeah, this map is not it.
Not only is it not it, I swap teams so that way we can shoot. Because, like, the thing that I want to illustrate with this is that although I'm much better at fighting this map now, I think both of us are, since we've played it so much, there's a huge problem with, like, how some of these maps' gimmicks kind of work. Every single map has its, like, gimmick, quote-unquote. This map's gimmick is that if you're on defense, you're actually just playing offense again for the most part, because there's kind of no way. This map is probably one of the hardest maps to play retake on. As soon as the bomb is down, like, the defenders kind of lose immediately. It's really hard to retake the site once the bomb is down, especially on A site, because on A site it's even worse. We're gonna walk all the way down here. In A site, it's already kind of weirdly designed, in my opinion. It's not terrible, it's just kind of weird. I mean, again, we have this fucking belt, right? Like, you see from one end of the sight line to the other all the way, but at least there's a lot more cover. I mean, you can kind of tuck behind here. People can only engage you in, like, a couple of spots. There's usually only 3 or 4 angles people can peek you from. So this is why A site I usually don't have as big of an issue with, but I do think it's a little too claustrophobic. This is like the opposite problem, where there's just too much shit to stop the fights, I think. But it's almost close to being really good, so I can't really complain that much. But if you just drop the bomb here, for example, I mean, what is the enemy team going to do to be able to defuse it? It's very difficult. They're going to have to walk all the way around, right? And if you plant it out in the open, that means that they have to clear who knows how many angles, right? They clear, like, if I plant the bomb, for example, here, they got to clear not just directly in front of them, but not only are they clearing directly in front of them, they're also clearing all the angles directly in front of them. So they're clearing belt, they're clearing here, there could be a guy down here in nest, there could be another guy over there in pipes, or the other side of pipes over there, you know, back in nest. There's a lot of places people can play very easily, and it's just really rough. And especially if you plant the bomb even further, like back here, this problem becomes increased. And sure, this is just the difference between attacker-sided planting versus defense trying to stop the bomb from being down, and that's totally fine. But I do think it illustrates the point of how one-sided this map can feel for attackers. It can be really easy to just kind of shit all over the enemy, get the bomb down, and that's it. The match is over, essentially. And this is why I think it's really interesting that people complain all the time about Breeze, but they don't really do the same thing with Icebox, because Icebox has a lot of the same problems. But I will admit, considering that Icebox has been fixed now, or at least modified, the problems are not nearly as bad as they used to be. So I guess that's enough. We could talk about Icebox. Let's move on to another map. Let's try.
I'm down with Breeze just to illustrate. Like,
okay, I know you have a
how
bone.
Breeze goes.
Yeah, you have a bone to pick with that fucking map. So
oh yeah.
All right, let's go to that one. Okay, so what about Breeze? What can we say about Breeze? Right. Well, this map everybody hates, and this map is also the one that's gone through a lot of changes. Both me and Hikari Tatsu have been playing the game pretty much forever. Although neither of us are like amazing at the game, we're both. He's in Diamond Peak, and I just peaked in Plat, so it's not like I'm a god at this game or anything. I'm just talking about my gripes. But this map has gone through, I mean, so many goddamn changes, and a lot of them were completely warranted because this map, when it was first released, was a fucking mess. I'm sure some of y'all remember back when Cove used to be pretty much the main entry into A site, right? And then you still had shop, right? But this whole thing being open was just a fucking mess because it just made post plants and lineup Larrys just have a field day. They didn't need to do anything. And then there was the whole thing a couple seasons ago where all of Halls was blocked off. Clearly Riot does not know what the fuck they want to do with this map because they keep fucking changing it all the time. And Hikari Tatsu actually is playing Jet right now because he has a point that he wants to illustrate with Jet on why this map is so terribly designed.
Oh yeah, no. This map is just hell for anybody who has to fight a good chamber or a good Jet, or honestly just a chamber Jet. You don't even have to be good. That's the worst part about it. It's just free pick central. It doesn't matter how it is, because the longer the corridors are, the longer the areas, the easier it is for a Jet to play or a chamber to play like an off angle. And you're done. It's a free pick, even if multiple people will swing, even if you're calling a flash, like you really got to catch them off guard. And they got too much. They literally have too much. I will admit, they're trying to like nerf Jet and Chamber in a way where it's balanced for everybody else to play, against them. But when you have agents that pretty much get a pick for free, it's too much.
Well, also, I think that just shows the point that these maps are kind of not designed in a way to make everyone viable, right? Because if Jet and Chamber are the ones, and Raze, constantly getting nerfs, and Viper, right? Constantly getting nerfs, it kind of proves that the map design is usually the thing that's giving these characters the key. I mean, if we look at this map, right? This is A site. A site also suffers from the same exact problem that fucking Icebox does, where there's just so many angles that you have to clear and no space and barely any cover. I mean, I can be all the way back here and basically where yellow is, right? Or orange, I forgot what this is called. Yeah, I think this is orange. And I'm seeing all the way in the back of main. And sure, I only usually have to clear this one angle unless I know that they've crossed in. But this thing is just a huge mess. If I even need to aggress someone here, I pretty much only have one area that I can aggress them at. And it's really, really hard to do anything about it. People can just immediately see you. I mean, this whole area from orange all the way to beta, right? Or whatever this is called. I think this is omega. It's alpha, this is omega, or right titty, left titty. Whatever. Regardless, this whole area, unless you have to use your abilities. And that's, in essence, not a problem. This is an ability shooter after all. But it's kind of really, really hard to argue that abilities and certain characters are not directly favored. Because Chamber and Jet are like the only two characters who can just hold on top of the pyramids, or they can hold all the way back here with pretty much no problem. You could just have a Chamber sit right here. They could shoot and just TP away. And they're safe. Guaranteed. 100% safe. And sure, ISO did just get nerfed. So he was able to do this, and shit, he still kind of is able to do it. He's still in a very strong state from what I understand. But this map, in the state that it's been in all the changes, and remember back when main used to go all the way back there. And bow, a guy would have literally zero chance to be able to shoot a guy from here. It's just so far. This angle is ridiculous. Unless you have the, and this is like an angle that directly favors the op. Like even I'm looking at Hikari Tatsu right now, and he already looks small. Imagine how it looks from his perspective, and he doesn't have an op, and he's running in, and he was all the way back there in the back of Cove, back when it was open. I mean, this thing was ridiculous. It should have never been released in the state that it is. Mid on this map is honestly just a fucking problem. And like I said, I actually like this map, but I'm also a Phoenix main, so Phoenix mains kind of get a lot of free sight control on this map. But mid on this map is genuinely atrocious. Actually, I don't think there's any part on this map that's good. I think they're all just pretty bad. Mid already is just kind of, there's been multiple problems. There was a time when this fucking thing, this mid pillar wasn't here, or this wall that Tatsu's jumping on was not here. So it was even worse because that means, look at how all the angles I have to clear. If I'm sitting in nest, I have to clear here, I'd have to clear there, and this wasn't there before as far as I remember. There, I have to clear there. There's just so much shit. And it's a little bit better now, but mid is still just such an awful place. If I'm like here and I'm holding, I mean, even just coming out here, there can be, he can be up there, he can be there, he can be there, there. Look at how much space I have to figure out where they are. And if I'm just unlucky or I'm just not paying attention to where anyone could be, and look, he's even showing, right? You can be on top of that box, you can be over there. There's just so many places that a guy can be that it's just directly unfair for the defenders. And to make matters worse, Breeze is a massive map, which means that the defenders have to rotate to get anywhere. If someone's planting on A, or if there's activity A and there's another guy making B, and I'm stuck in mid, it's going to take me a pretty long time to get over there to even contest whatever they're doing. And by that time, they'll probably have already taken the site and probably gotten bombed down, and now we're in post plant. At least for Breeze, post plant is not nearly as oppressive, unless you're playing against a team that knows what they're doing, because you can just sit in Cove and shop and just spam here. There are lineup Larrys that'll just, you know, spam default plant here. And on B site, it's even worse because you can just have a dude sitting in window, right? You could just plant the bomb right here, and what the fuck is the defenders gonna do? You plant the bomb right here, and they have no cover. They can't do anything. This angle is horrible. I can't do anything to stop this, really, unless I have utility. So unless someone smokes me off, or maybe I flash, right? I mean, look, I'm dead. I can't really do anything about this, you know? If I have good utility and if I'm smart, maybe I can pick this guy before he kills me. But, I mean, if a guy's playing even semi-competently, I'm just fucking dead. There's not really much I can do. The attackers, if they are smart, they will play around the fact that they planted the bomb in a certain location, and that's totally fine. But that still illustrates a huge fucking problem with a lot of this map design that I just think, I don't understand. I don't know what it is with Riot nowadays, just making big-ass corridor maps with barely any cover. This map, although it's not perfect, there's no map in this game, and really any game that's perfect, I think this map is much better and much more emblematic of Riot's design philosophy, working better for just how the game is. Let me go ahead and end the game phase so we can you know, walk around here and such. This map, I think, in my opinion, is when I first started playing this game, I didn't like it, but I liked it. I liked the design of it a lot, and I just knew that I was probably playing the map wrong. Haven's sites are almost all perfect. I mean, there's not that much you have to do. Attack side and defense side. There can be a guy there, sure. But there's most of the time there's going to be a guy tower. Could be a guy back of hell. Maybe box. Maybe right side. There's still a bunch of angles to clear, but they're much easier to deal with. I don't have to swing like a damn near 180 to fight one guy. You know? It's much easier to deal with both attacking, defending side of where it is. Sure, the attackers do get funneled into two lanes, but those two lanes, you're still able to fight from multiple angles that you would be from both sides for the most part. If I come here, I could see this guy here, there's a guy here, could be a guy tower, on top of boxes, and I clear out all the way to here and then clear these other side, right? It's much easier to come through, both attackers and defenders, to play post plant, to just get, you know, bombed down regular for the attackers. It's not nearly as oppressive, and there's just so much more cover. There's a lot more to play around that makes the map easier. Plus, these are some of the maps that Jet and Chamber they still are really good, but they don't excel nearly as much as they used to. Back when they were fucking, you know, well, no one wants to talk about the Dark Ages, so let's just leave it at that.
The best points that I can give for this map is, for attackers, you have a lot of different paths that you can take into the map. Like, a lot of splits through B, because generally there's only one person that holds B. You could do a lot of, like, splitting of O, working up A with 3, and then working through B with the other two, try to pick one on B, and then, you know, your opponent's frazzled. Like, you have to get, you know, you have to have them know that everybody is on the same page, so that way they can get their defense straight. But for, yeah, but on the defense side, it's nice because, you know, there are a lot of close angles you can hold. You know, this can be really good, like, shotgun territory. You know, obviously,
Yeah.
like, people have lineups, but there will be a lot of one and done plays that you can do that, you know, will
Which are really
generally
hard to do
work. No
on the
matter
maps.
what elo it is, it'll work. So,
And it's much harder.
Um,
I think that is an interesting thing that we forgot to mention in the other maps is that, you know, I personally really like it that a map like Haven is in this game because it allows pretty much every single agent and every single play style of those agents to be able to excel in whatever they want to do. If you want to do like a one and done angle where you're just holding here, let's say you're just holding here with like a Bucky, you can do that, right? You can just be like pow, you know, if you see them come in. It's much harder to do that on a map like, let's say Breeze, for example, because there's just so many more long fighting angles with a lot less cover, so it makes this strategy just inherently a lot less viable. This also forces this little metagame here because it's like, okay, is this guy going to be playing a one and done angle? Is he not? I mean, I can hold like this and we can still both fight and it's damn near 50-50, rather it being one guy has a big ass corridor to fight down and it's just a full-on aim fight and who's winning the RNG battle, right? Because if someone's just holding an ADS, maybe they'll win this, maybe they won't. Depends on the gun that they have, depends on a lot of factors. Let's go to B side, because I think this still exemplifies this. B side is definitely a like raised jet style of sight, but in this case, it's not nearly as bad because you know they can only be a certain a couple of places really, right? If they're on top of here, right, on top of the sight box, that's pretty easy. Also, this is inherently kind of unfavorable to them because if someone just happens to clear you, now you have nowhere to run. Maybe you can hop down here, but you're still visible. You hop down there, you can get wall banged very easily. It's much easier to fight someone up there, even if they're trying to hold like an off angle. You know, that's really dangerous for Tatsu to hold because if I'm just here and I see, oh, he's right there, bam, bam, bam. You know, I can hit him and I can kill him. Maybe he kills me first, but at least I have the option. I can still fight this fight, and I don't have to worry necessarily about him being directly favored in this scenario. It's kind of strange that it feels as though certain playstyles are directly favored and certain characters are directly favored just because the map is designed in such a way where the game devs didn't think, oh shit, this character can very, very easily abuse certain sightlines, certain angles, just this big ass corridor. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't think that. I would think that the people who worked on this game, who were working on CSGO, would have looked at how a lot of those maps are designed with a bunch of cover on them most of the time and not just be like, why don't we just put more cover on the maps? And clearly they agree with me because Breeze was changed to have more cover. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck these people were thinking with these newer fucking maps. But let's go ahead and talk about Seaside because you would think that I don't like Seaside. And you're wrong. I actually like Seaside. Sure, this is a big-ass corridor, don't get me wrong, but this is a big-ass corridor that's much more manageable. You have a lot of places you can play around, right? I can be, you know, default box, I can be back in the corner over here, I can play up long if I'm really dangerous, right? Or they can be there. There's a lot you can do. Shit, I can play both sides here, right and left, right? I could be, you know, there could be a guy here, there could be a guy here. Shit, you can even play it from garage when they walk up. There's so many ways that you can assess this. And I am worried because when we talk about this map, and as good as it is, and we could talk about Bind, we can go into Ascent, we could even talk about Split. But I think the main thing here that both me and Tatsu will have a lot to say about is Abyss. And it's about to be in the competitive queue, or shit, when this video comes out, it might already be in the competitive queue. And there's some things that I want to talk about, and that Tatsu will probably want to say as well. And we'll go from there. So I'll see you over there. Alright, and here we are. The,
I need a gun.
I don't know what you would call this, the climax of this argument that I have, this dumbass argument. Anyway, so here we are on the latest map released to the game, at least as far as I'm recording this, Abyss. So when this map was first released, at least from a lot of the content that I was seeing from channels like Thinking Man's Valorant and Conga, other places like that, a lot of people seemed to like this map. And I thought, you know what, hey, you know, if there's something new in this game, that's totally fine. I'm happy with them trying out something new. Come to find out, though, the first time I play on this map is in a deathmatch, and that instantly soured my opinion of the map, and then I played it in unrated, and now I absolutely hate this fucking map. Abyss is literally everything I have just explained about all the other maps, kind of rolled into this big-ass shit pizza, right? Long, horrible, unfavorable sightlines. Barely any cover, once again, right? Sure, there's more cover on A side, but B side is just fucking atrocious. Also, the cover on the first off, I think the first thing we have to mention is the cover on this map makes kind of no sense. It's really strange. I don't know how we're supposed to like how am I supposed to fight tower over here? It's just kind of weird. It's not bad. I'm not against this inherently, but it is very strange. I mean, if I'm clearing this out right, and I have to be super meticulous, I have to clear all of this and over here just to make sure there isn't a guy ready to shoot me, and that's assuming that door over there is not broken, right? There's just so much I have to clear. And not only that, once I get on the site, right, there's pretty much only one angle people can fight me from this side, and one angle people can fight me from this side. If they jump on top of the box, you'll very obviously see them because there's no way to hide when you're up here. You're just up here or you're not. And if they're coming from in here, I only have to clear bam and bam. I don't know what the fuck Riot was thinking, but this is literally the most attack-sided map in the history of the game. So attack-sided. And yes, they fixed a lot of the glitches, so you can't do the shit like with Phoenix can drop down there, or like Omen's over here. I think those have been patched out so far. But this is here's what also illustrates my point. Good luck defusing the fucking bomb on this site, right? I know people really geeked out about this little ledge over here, and yeah, that's cool. It's cool that there's a little bit of verticality over here. But seriously, please someone answer me this question. How do you defuse this bomb? Like how? Where? How? If a guy's over here, he's fucked. Even if you have a smoke, there's the smallest little area. All I have to do, even like put your smoke down. Obviously, I'm intentionally not hitting him so that way he doesn't respawn, but what's stopping me from just doing something like this, grabbing an Odin, sitting in this corner, and just being like, oh, cool. So the guy's dead. It's directly favored. There's not really anything the enemy can do. I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen the meta of this map as much, but I've kind of intentionally been avoiding it because the idea of this even being a part of the bomb site is just absurd to me. This is so unfair. Oh, and we'll get to it. I've seen the Thinking Man's Valorant video on B-side, and I think I've shown Tatsu this as well. But this to me is just absolutely egregious. Here's a big thing that I hate about this map as well. Mid. Oh boy, if you think I didn't like long-ass corridors with no cover, wait till you hear what I say about this fucking atrocity. What the hell is this? Oh my god. Come over here, Tatsu. Where are you? Yeah, okay. This thing should have literally never have been in the design of this map in any way, shape, or form. This is totally unacceptable to me. I don't understand. What the fuck is the point of this? Am I just supposed to sit here with the elo stick and be like, haha, they're dead, I guess. Haha, they're dead. What's the point? What do you do? It's just so bad. I don't understand. And it's even worse over here. Because sure, you do have this little pillar, but let's say they're already crossing through to B. I see a couple people there. I have to expose myself to all of this. Vent, catwalk, both sides of catwalk, and even a dude can be sitting right here. Maybe there's a guy who walked up here that I can't literally clear because they can walk up for free. If he's right there, he can just very easily just walk against the wall, and I literally can't see him. I can barely see his outline. If I just happen to not be paying attention for a second, I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe they cross to B, and I walk over. He could be there, and I have this much time to walk through, right? Sure, this can be fixed with utility, but I still don't think that that's a good enough excuse. I don't think utility should be the make and break of you crossing a fucking site or a map. It's just kind of dumb. And now, bum-ba-da-ba, the magnum opus. Fucking B-site. Thinking Man's Valorant already talked about this, and I'm sure a bunch of other people talked about this, but this shit, hopefully it's been fixed. This, oh yeah, they didn't change a damn thing. This is just... Okay, before we even get to this wall, before we even get there, because there's a lot to say. You see what I don't like about this map? Look at where I can look, from here to there. And both sides have to clear. One, two, three, four, all this entire back wall. So who knows how many off angles people can hide here, right? all the way. And then when I have to walk up, I have to clear even more angles, right? The same ones from before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There can be a guy here. There can be a guy over there. There can be a guy, yeah, who jumps up just like that. There can be a guy in this back corner who can crouch, who you can't really see his head hitbox if you're walking up right here. It's just so fucking stupid. And the main reason why I want to talk about this too, and I mentioned it earlier, is this little problem right here. People already have a problem with a lot of the maps in Valorant, especially the newer ones, being post-plant spam to win, but this is the most egregious one. I mean, sure, if I didn't even want to abuse the wall over here, I could just sit here with pretty much any gun and just hold this crazy angle like this. Let's say, if we roll reverse here, let's say Tatsu is on attack and I'm on defense and I have to defuse the bomb. If I'm sitting here and I defuse the bomb, he can just very instantly peek out. But it's even worse because this whole wall is wall bangable. If you just grab the Odin, right? Let's say the bomb is down right here, right? And there's pretty much no counterplay. There's pretty much no counterplay. All you gotta do is here for the guy to defuse, and you're fucked. No amount of utility will even save you in this scenario. It's just, you're fucked. You cannot fight against this. And the thing is, the post planters, sure, they can be here, right, where Tatsu's peeking out, but they could also be here, 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 here. Man, this map, holy shit. Do you have anything to say, Tatsu?
Yeah, I really hope this wall gets patched or something about this B-side gets patched because it is just not looking good. Another big issue I have about this map is it is free for griefers. Like, if you are like a comp demon and somebody's trying to throw to get an extra, RR tank on their Smurf account, all they gotta do is just jump off the map and that's it.
That's true. Or they could actively buy guns for their team and throw them off the map to troll. It's really, really easy to abuse shit on this map. But this right here is, yeah. I don't think I need to say anything else. This alone should get this map at least reworked. This is ridiculous. Look at how many spaces I can walk down the stair, and I'm still able to spam all the way through for free. Not to mention, if you're playing Raze, I mean, this is just a free instant rocket and you're dead for free. And and Chamber, it doesn't matter what agent. Shit, Jet here, Bladestorm, dead instantly. A lot of characters here are extremely favored, and other ones are not extremely favored, as is the rule of maps, and that's fine. But it's getting to the point where instead of it being like, oh, maybe it's 60-40 for one agent, maybe it's 40 for this guy, 60 for this guy, it's more like 70, like 80-90 for this guy. Like, please play this guy and this agent, it's free elo, and if you play this agent on this map, you are literally losing the game, like Astra on Breeze. It's like you're guaranteed to lose almost. So yeah, please take this shit out of the game. I think this is just kind of ridiculous. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the most attacker-sided map ever to be released in this dumbass game. And you know what? As much as I gripe about this game and the problems, I do think Riot will probably fix some of these problems. But if more maps come and they're like this, I think the meta of this game and the future of this game is going to be going down the shitter, because I can't imagine people are going to want to play defense when it's actively discouraged on maps designed like this. What would you do? I don't know. Probably just play CS2.
Make this map only unrated or something else. I mean, do not put this in the competitive queue. That's the only thing I can say.
While we're recording this, this is going to be in the competitive queue in a, what, 7-8 hours, something like that. It's gonna
it's a mess.
Yeah.
This thing is a mess.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd miss Fracture, but all of a sudden when I'm looking at this map, I guess I miss Fracture.